in the big finish tonight, House Republicans take the war on the poor to a whole new level. Republicans don't want automatic cuts in defense spending over the next 10 years after the failure of the super committee. It's called sequester. So they've proposed draconian cuts to domestic spending instead. Cuts to the elderly, children, the poor, and unemployed. Today's vote passed with no support from Democrats. Here are the details of what Republicans would do. Tighten eligibility for food stamps. That means cuts. Repeal block grants for Meals on Wheels. I say that's heartless. Child care programs will be a thing of the past, and assistance for the elderly. Well, they're going to cut Medicaid, cut federal retirement benefits, you name it. This legislation came from Paul Ryan's budget committee and is called a reconciliation budget. I'll show you something that needs reconciliation. The nation's wage earners need an hourly compensation to match their productivity. The nation's middle class deserves a wage that doesn't stay flat over 3 decades while the vultures at the top get rich. There is a need for reconciliation in this country, but not the kind Republicans have got in mind for America. Joining me tonight, E.J. Dionne, MSNBC contributor, Washington Post columnist, and senior fellow at the Brookings Institution. Heartless is what I call it. I can't think of a better word. But, E.J., this is going to hurt people, and they want to give breaks to the wealthiest Americans. I mean, how do you describe what's unfolding here?
You know, Ed, I respect the conservative tradition. I have a lot of conservative friends. But conservatism right now has really been degraded and narrowed. Its only principle right now in American conservatism is never, ever, ever, ever raise taxes on the rich, even if it means slashing programs for the neediest people. You look at what they did today. 40% of the total cuts came in programs for low and moderate income people. Food stamps, Medicaid, children's health insurance. 200,000 low income kids would lose school meals. And you know what? If they want to raise the defense budget, if they want to sort of get rid of some of those cuts that are online, Senator Schumer and the Democrats over there said, look, put some revenue on the table. If you really care that much about defense, can't you tax some of the very well-off people who are being protected? But they're saying no. And as you pointed out, not a single Democrat voted for this. And there are about 24 moderate to conservative Democrats who often vote with the Republicans. And 16 Republicans couldn't bring themselves to vote for this thing. So 16 Republicans defected. This is a terrible thing.
In some strange way, the Republicans think that taking this vote in the House when they know it has no chance in the Senate, no chance of the president going along with any of this, in some strange way, they think that this is going to politically help them. How do you figure?
Well, I guess they figure people won't look much at the cuts, or they figure most of their constituents aren't affected by these cuts, or most of the people who vote for them aren't affected by these cuts. And look, a lot of people want to offset those Pentagon cuts, especially people with defense industries in their districts. And that's probably why they thought they might get some Democratic votes on this. But, I think that if people sort of take a look at what kind of government this is going to create and where is the balance of government at a time when there's rising inequality, it ought to be pushing a little bit in favor of the people who aren't doing so well.
The chart that we show, and we'll show it again, I mean, this is only going to feed into this separation. We've showed how productivity has gone up over the past years, but wages have not kept up. Wage earners, they're not getting their fair share. Republicans want to make it even harder for the poor to stay afloat. It plays right into what the Obama campaign is all about right now.
I thought tonight of an old Mario Cuomo line who said this is based on the philosophy that God helps those whom God has helped. And so you're just going to do more for the people who already have more. The other line I thought of tonight is from Scripture. Isaiah said, we shall beat their swords into plowshares. This is beating plowshares into swords. This is just taken from the very needy and given it to the Pentagon.
Well, we just don't want to be our brother's keeper anymore. That is where the Republican Party is. E.J. Dionne, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.